welcome to Yoga for Athletes. I'm Jolynn and this is Campbell, my daughter. We're trying to keep busy and stay fit while we have to stay indoors pretty much. But we're enjoying the outside weather today. So thanks for joining us for class. If you have a yoga block, that's a great tool to use to support yourself, especially athletes tend to be a little bit tighter in hips and hamstrings. So that's a nice tool. Also a yoga belt or a hand towel or a karate belt or something is a great supplement, a great tool for your practice as well. So starting in an easy seat, sit up nice and tall, lengthen from the head down to the tail, tail to the head, so your head is over your hips, shoulders are over your hips. Raise your arms up to the sky, take a nice deep breath here, and we're going to do opposite, so when I say right, it's going to actually be left, so you guys can see what we're doing, okay? So take your left hand over to your right knee and bring your right hand behind you for an easy seated twist. Take a deep breath in here, and a full breath out. We'll raise the arms up and switch to the other side, flowing with the breath. Take a breath in here, and a breath out. Inhale, come back to center, exhale to the other side. Breath in and breath out. Inhale, stretch up and take it over to the other side one more time. Deep breath in and a full breath out. Raise your arms, come back to center, hands come down to your lap. Fold the soles of your feet in together, your knees apart. And again, you're either sitting up on that block or you're sitting on the earth. I'm actually going to come down to the earth for this one. So coming down to the earth or sitting up on your block, folding the soles of your feet together, lift your chest up a little bit and just let your knees butterfly out, so maybe bouncing them a slight bit. It's hard for runners and athletes to hold poses, so keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to wiggle a little bit in your practice. And then stretch your chest forward, your heart forward, and inhale, come back up. We'll do that a couple more times. Exhale, stretch the chest forward. Maybe your elbows come to the inside of your knees. And inhale, lift up. Do that 2 more times. Exhale, stretch the chest forward. Inhale, rise back up. And 1 more time, chest forward. And come on back up. So if you're up on a block or a blanket, you can remove that. We'll bend the knees, bring our feet just a little bit wider than our hips, hands behind our hips, and start to windshield wiper the knees to the right and to the left. Keep it going. Again, dynamic movement is a really great choice for runners and cyclists and athletes of all kinds. And then coming on back to center, cross your left ankle over your right thigh and just let that left thigh kind of fall out to the side. Press down into the right foot and lift your hips up a little bit. Lift your heart and slowly release. This will open up the pectoral muscles as well as the shoulders. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, lower down. We'll do that 1 more time. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, lower down. And begin to switch sides. So again, wiper the knees, starting on the left side this time, and on the right side, and on the left, and on the right. And coming back to center, this time the sole of the left foot stays down, the right ankle crosses over the left thigh, pressing into that left foot, begin to lift the hips up. Let that right knee be really heavy and then lower down. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, slow lift up. And an exhale down. 1 more time. Inhale and rise. And exhale, lower it back down. Release your legs, extend your legs forward, give them a little wiggle here. And we're coming into a pose called seated forward fold. So you can kind of get the sitting bones rooted to the floor, draw the flesh away from your sitting bones. And you can either use your strap around the soles of your feet, or you can just frame your shins with your ankles or with your fingertips. So either the strap on the balls of the feet or frame your shins with your fingertips. Stretch your chest forward and unlock your knees. And even here, we're going to keep the movement dynamic. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, elbows wide, heart forward. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, elbows wide. And 1 more time, inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. Hold and hang out right here. So if this holding does not serve you, keep the movement dynamic. Keep it a little bit wiggly. Otherwise, see if you can hold for a breath or 2. And with your next breath, slowly rise up, release the strap, and we'll fold our knees back to the back of the mat, coming into a table pose. We'll move through a sequence of a few poses here. So as you exhale, curl your spine. As you inhale, lift your heart and your hips. Exhale, come back to neutral. Step forward with your right foot between your hands. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands down. Now here's where you might want to have that block on the inside of your right foot. We'll come into a hamstring stretch. So stretching the hips back, pop your toes up to the sky, half split, Ardha Hanuman. Bend into your knee and reach your arms up to the sky again. And we'll do that one more time. Bring the hands down, stretch back, half Hanuman. And bend into your knee. Bring the block off to the side, tuck back into table. We'll do that same thing on the other side. Exhale, curl. Inhale, open. Find neutral spine. Step your left foot between your hands. Rise with your breath. Inhale. Exhale, hands down, hips go back. Pop the left toes up, hard forward. Inhale, bend the knee, reach all the way up again. Exhale, hands down, hips go back. Stretch the hamstrings. Bend into your knee. We're stepping all the way back again, table pose. Exhale, curl into cat. Inhale, open into cow. Find neutral spine, step forward with the right foot. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands down, hips go back. One more time, bend the knee, inhale, reach up. Now you can keep this movement going. Keep the dynamic movement or send your hips back and hang out here. Pop your toes up, stretch your chest forward. Keep that right knee unlocked. And breathe, of course. With your next breath, bend your knee, take that knee back, and we'll switch sides. Coming into cat stretch first, curl. And open. Find neutral, step forward with your left foot. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands down, hips go back, toes go up. Inhale, arms rise. One more time in low lunge. Exhale. Again, we're going to hang out here, but if that doesn't serve you, you're going to keep moving. So if you're holding, the hips go back, toes are up, left knee is unlocked. Safely stretching those hamstrings. And with your next breath, bend your knee and tuck it back in to meet the right knee. Big toes touch, knees apart, child's pose. Walk your hands forward or maybe behind your heart in prayer, or you can walk them around next to your heels. Bring yourself back up to a table pose. Step forward with your right foot again. This time we're coming into a high lunge. So we'll step into low lunge, lift the left knee, inhale to rise, exhale, hands down, lengthen your right leg long. Back heel is floating away from the floor. Inhale, bend, exhale, stretch. Do that again. Inhale, bend, and exhale, stretch. Inhale, bend, rise back up, big breath. Exhale, hands down, step back, table, drop your knees. Step forward with your left foot, raise your right knee, high lunge. Rise with your breath, inhale. Exhale, hands down. Take a breath in here, and as you exhale, lengthen the left leg. Inhale, bend your knee. Two more of those. Exhale, stretch. Inhale, bend. Exhale, stretch. Inhale, bend, raise your arms to the sky, big breath. Exhale, hands down, table pose. Right knee, left knee drops. Find a downward facing dog. So walk your hands slightly forward, curl your toes, and lift your seat. And notice if your hamstrings are feeling a little bit more open than they were at the beginning of the practice. Bend and stretch your legs a few times. Slowly step your feet forward and up to your hands, coming into a forward bend. Bend and stretch your legs. Shake your head out, no and yes. Root down into your feet, sweep your arms all the way up to the sky, deep breath. Exhale, hands come into the heart center. Keeping your right foot forward now, and again, you might want that block, maybe. Doing a hip and hamstring stretch here. Step the left foot back, about walking distance. So your feet are hip width apart, so they're in line with your sit bones, not with each other. We want them to be on railroad tracks and not a tightrope. Bring your hands to your waist, and you want to imagine that you can keep your hips fairly square. So you don't want the left hip drawing forward or too far back. We want everything parallel, so that's short front edge of the mat. So from here, lift the heart, roll your shoulders back, and start to bow forward. And pay attention to keeping that right hip drawing back in space. Now, you might need a block or the edge of a couch or an ottoman, whatever you have handy. Maybe you have the flexibility to start to bring your hands down to the earth. An important thing to remember is to keep bending slightly into that right knee. This movement can be dynamic even here. Let it evolve. So maybe a little bend, a little stretch, a little bend, a little stretch. Not necessarily holding and suffering, as some of you might be doing, but keeping the movement a little dynamic. Soften into that right knee now a little bit and bring your hands up to your waist. Rise all the way up to stand. Bending into that front knee a little bit. Drive that left heel into the earth to stretch your left calf. Reach your arms up. Take a breath in here. Interlace your hands and press up through the palms of your hands. Imagine that you could pull your fingers apart, but keep them interlaced. Keep drawing your belly in towards your spine. Draw your shoulders onto the back of your heart. Maybe lift your gaze and your heart up to the beautiful sky right now. Keep driving that left heel into the floor to stretch your calf. And as you exhale, slowly begin to release your hands to the mat. Step forward with your left foot and back with your right foot. So again, you're walking distance. Bring your hands to your hips and rise on up. So we want the feet walking distance so that right heel is on the earth as well as the left heel. Feet are hip width, so make sure you've got them there. Again, you want that right waist drawing back so the front of the pelvis is square to the short edge of your mat. Take a breath in, lengthen up, soften your knees, and start to bow forward. Keep driving that left waist back. Again, maybe you need a block or an ottoman. Keep your knees unlocked. Settling into the hips. Nice alignment. Campbell plays soccer, but she's also a cheerleader, so she's got the flexibility of a cheerleader and the athleticism of a soccer player, which is pretty awesome. Hanging out here, again, a little bend, a little stretch through that left leg, if that works better for you. Bring your hands back up to your waist, little bend in the left knee, and rise up. Now bending the knee a little more deeply, we're coming into the shape of a warrior one. Drive that right heel into the earth and keep reaching down into the earth to stretch that calf. Inhale your arms up, get long from your hips to your waist, to your armpits, to fingertips. This time we'll steeple those fingers, reaching up through the index fingers. So super energized through the sides of the body, and all the way up through the fingertips. Lift your heart up any amount. Take another breath in here, and as you exhale, slow release, coming back to the earth, forward fold, step the right foot forward to meet the left. And bend and stretch a few times. Step this left foot back again, and we'll drop that left knee. We're coming into a lizard pose. So heel toe the right foot out, a footprint or two, maybe turning those toes slightly out. And again, if you need a block or a couch cushion or a pillow to put underneath your elbows, that's great. Or you can stay up on your hands, or you can bring your forearms down to the floor. So give yourself some time up here on your fingertips first to wiggle around. Let it be dynamic, let it be wiggly, let it be playful. And then when you're ready, start to bring your elbows down or stay up on your hands. Maybe a twist is calling to you. So you'll stay on that left hand, maybe placing the right hand to the inner thigh, turning your chest. You can do the same thing from a block. So you could bring your elbow down and turn. Again, this is a practice, so especially for athletes who tend to be a little tighter in the hips and hamstrings, it's really important to remember that we don't come to yoga because we're flexible. We come to yoga to get more flexible, right? This is why we do yoga. And slowly begin to release your hands back down. Step yourself back to a plank pose, or maybe a plank on the knees. Up to you. You can lift the knees or lower them. Hanging out here for a couple of breaths. Come down to the earth. You can either come in one long line or through knees, chest, chin. Come down to the floor. Interlace your hands at your low back. And if you can't interlace your hands, if your shoulders are tight, I want you to take that strap behind your back. You'll turn the thumbs in and the palms down. So you can really roll the shoulders back and open your chest. Lengthen back through your legs. We're taking a locust pose, which is awesome for the whole body, for core, for shoulders. As you inhale, lift everything that you can away from the earth, keeping the elbows soft, shoulders soft, and keep breathing. You breathing? Yeah. Okay. Deep breaths in and out. Take one more breath here, and slowly release, coming back to the earth. Bring your hands down, your knees up and to the earth, to table. Step forward with your left foot, and we'll come to lizard on the other side. So again, we'll heel toe that left foot out of footprint. Pick up that right knee and gently wiggle it back. Stay here for a few breaths. Let yourself settle in. I know we've already done this shape a few times, so your body's used to it, but let yourself be a little wiggly here. And as you settle in, maybe you're staying right here on the palms of your hands. Maybe you're coming down to forearms, or bringing your forearm to a block and one to the inner thigh, or staying up on the hands. So again, let this lizard pose be a little wiggly. Those back toes can be curled or uncurled. And settle in and breathe. For some of you, it might be a super challenging pose, so you need to keep it wiggly the entire way through. Take one more breath in and out here. And slowly begin to come back out of the pose. We're tucking that left knee back in to meet the right knee. We'll come down through that plank to chaturanga, or knees, chest, chin again. So either knees lifted or lowered, all the way down to the earth. This time keeping the hands underneath the chest, anchor into the tops of the feet. Roll your shoulders back, engage your core, and lift to your cobra pose. So it might be a little cobra, it might be a high cobra. So Campbell's got quite a bit of flexibility in her back. For some of us, we might be barely above the earth. Maybe floating those hands above the earth to activate core a little bit more. Take one more breath in where you are, and as you exhale, slowly release, coming back to your child's pose. Big toes touch, knees apart. Sink your hips back onto your heels. Rise back up to table pose and come back to sit on your heels. So the next pose we're going to do as a partner pose because we have each other here for a little bit of leverage and added weight. So we'll sit facing each other with one foot folded in and one leg extended long. You can do this on your own and use a strap on the ball of your foot or again that hand towel or karate belt or whatever you have. So Campbell and I are going to turn to face each other. Extend your left leg and put it on my right shin. Yeah. So we're coming into this square shape. And she's going to provide a little resistance for my knee as I'm providing a little resistance for her knee. Yeah. And if your legs are different sizes, you'll just futz and adjust too. So we'll inhale and reach up. She's keeping me honest by keeping this knee down and this side of my waist back, and I'm doing the same for her. And I'm going to reach towards my extended leg as she reaches towards her extended leg. Take a breath in and turn your belly towards your long leg and reach down towards your foot. So this is not only stretching both my legs and my hips, but also my waist and my side body. Do you feel that here? Yeah. So stay with your breath. Again, if you don't have a partner to do this with, or if you're social distancing from your family, unlike me, you can just wrap a strap around the ball of your foot and use that to help you turn. You can put a sandbag or something heavy on your thigh to keep your thigh down as well. Breathe into your waist, and again, you can let this be wiggly by coming out a little bit and going in a little bit, and coming out a little bit, going in. And slowly begin to rise back up, and we're going to shift our legs. So I'm going to fold my left foot in and bring my right long leg to her left knee, and she's doing the same for me. So keeping ourselves really honest here. Raise your arms, turn out towards that extended leg. Again, if you don't have a partner, use a strap or something, and then fold out over that long leg. Now, inevitably, one side will be easier than the other. This is not my easy side. So you'll really feel a stretch through the waist. Keep turning your navel towards that long leg thigh. And breathe, of course. Let yourself come in and out, and in and out. Take another breath in and out here. And slowly begin to rise back up. And bring your legs in. Turn yourself forward. Grab your strap or your towel or whatever you have. One last little hamstring stretch here. It's called heron pose. So you'll fold the left knee in and you'll loop the strap or your towel or whatever you have on the bottom of your foot. Lean yourself back to lift your foot, engage your core, and start to lengthen your leg. And we'll do a little stretch and bend here. So bend your knee and stretch your leg, and bend your knee and stretch your leg. And do that one more time. Bend and stretch. We'll add a little twist to this heron pose. So place both straps in your left hand and walk your right fingertips behind you. Keep your spine and your heart lifted. Your leg is long, but your knee is unlocked. Pull your belly in. Notice how the breathing comes and goes. Belly expands and contracts. Relax your shoulders and your jaw. Oh, there you go. And slowly begin to unwind your pose. Bend your knee, and we will switch sides. So fold the sole of the right foot in, so you have a little anchor here. And then bring the strap around the ball of the left foot. Lift your leg away from the floor and stretch and bend a few times. Extend and bend, extend and bend, And one more time, extend and bend. This time we'll extend, placing both straps in the right hand. Walk those left fingertips behind you. Little bend in that left knee. Turn your chest and notice your breath. Keep the shoulders away from your ears. And just keep breathing. Take one more breath in and out here. And slowly begin to unwind. Bend your knee and release your foot. Now, we're going to use the block for this next pose, but you can just bring the soles of your feet together and the pinky toe edges of your feet onto the earth. So placing a block right at the top of your mat the long way and the shortest level of the block, bring the pinky toe edges of your feet up onto the block so the soles of the feet are together. And you can walk your hands behind you and slide your hips in as much as you can. Those fingertips will stay behind you. And begin to lift the heart, let your knees drop as low as they'll go. And again, you can keep a little movement, find a little wiggle here. Just trying to unlock the hip flexors a little bit. Working out any of those pops and cracks from the day. Keep reaching your chest to the sky, soften your elbows. So nice to be outside, hear the birds. Take one more long breath in and out, and slowly begin to release, bringing your feet off of that block. Grab your strap again, and again, you don't need to have a strap, but if you have one or a hand towel, place it around the balls of both feet. Our yard slopes this way, so Campbell and I might be rolling down the hill here in a moment. But we're going to lift the feet for a boat pose. And anchor into your core. Draw your shoulders onto your back. Keeping the knees bent, press your feet into the strap as you draw the strap towards you. Stay focused on your core and on your breath. Maybe start to lengthen your legs. Maybe lengthen and bend. Now, if you can manage this, try it. If maybe you're on concrete patio blocks, you don't. But see if you can come all the way down onto your back, raising your legs to the sky with your feet still in the strap. So maybe you'll be able to bring yourself all the way down. Really use your core here. And raise your legs up to the sky. Take your left foot out of the strap, right leg long, and we'll take one more twist from here. So place both straps in your left hand, shift your hips slightly to the right, and roll your leg over to the left. Hanging out here, we're breathing 3 breaths. Slowly begin to draw that leg back up to the sky. Bring yourself back into the center and switch your feet. So lengthen long through the right leg, left foot is in the strap, straps go into the right hand. Shift your hips slightly left as you roll to the right. And again, if you've learned anything through this practice, it's that dynamic movement is goodness for an athlete. So if you need to bend and stretch your leg, if you need to come in and out of it, that's what you'll do. Take another long breath in and out. And slowly bring that leg back up to center. And bring both feet down to the earth. Let's rock ourselves up to an easy seated pose once again. Sit up nice and tall and close your eyes. Roll your shoulders back. Deep breaths in and out. Begin to notice any sensations that are going on in your body right now. If anything is still cranky or left to be done, by all means do that. As we've been in the house for a couple of weeks now, and we've been doing a lot of purging and spring cleaning, I hope that some of what we did today was like a detox and spring cleaning for your physical body. And coming to our mats should always make us feel more at home in our bodies, physically, mentally, and emotionally. So I hope we were able to do a little bit of that with you today. Bringing your hands to Anjali Mudra at Heart Center, prayer pose. Let's take a breath in together, and as we exhale, let's bow to one another as we say, Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you, Campbell. Thanks everybody for joining us for Yoga for Athletes. Hope you're enjoying the content on the Namaste Yoga YouTube page and website, and that you're enjoying our Facebook live streams. Hope some of you guys can get your athletes at home to do this. I know that spring seasons have been cut short, possibly cut altogether. So keep them in shape, keep them flexible, and we'll see them back out on the diamonds or on the track or wherever they are very soon. Thanks so much.